Today we're going to be looking at Charizard Dusknoir with the new inclusion of Briar. It is a massive supporter card in this expansion, and Charizard can take great advantage of it because it can use the Cursed Blast from the Dusclops and Dusknoir to force the opponent into a situation where we can activate our Briar, whilst at the same time using those blasts to manipulate our damage, so Burning Darkness is getting KOs, also that Dusknoir specifically can KO single prize Pokemon, and then the Briar can take 3. So Charizard can actually take a 4 prize swing turn now, provided the opponent is at 2 prize cards, or at 3 prize cards, because you can blast and then play the Briar afterwards. In the other way around, you have to Briar first, then blast, but in both situations, Charizard can take 4 prize late game swing turns, making it one of the most dangerous late game decks. It already was the case, really. Oftentimes it was trying to find wiggle room with hand disruption of Iono and Radzard and these sorts of board positions, but with Fezandipiti EX now in the format, it's far more casino. Trying to make that hand disruption play doesn't play off as much as it used to. In this case, we're trying to be much less interactive with our opponent, unfortunately to say, but we're saying that they basically can't disrupt the Dusknoir Briar combo in certain situations, and that's when we're really going to take control of boards. Charizard is by no means simplistic these days. We're playing 3 stage 2s and a bunch of basic Pokemon in the list as well. The Lumineon and the Rotom V are here to try and help get us set up in the game. Cherry picking crucial supporter cards or ending our turn on a draw 3 from that Rotom is really critical, and the Forest Seal Stone, of course, is what makes the Arven package so powerful in this archetype, because you can grab an item card as well as any card you want, provided you have a V Pokemon in play via that Forest Seal Stone. You can see we have a very healthy amount of ball search cards in the deck, and those are rare candies to get all of our evolutions online. We are still one of these archetypes that will naturally be falling behind, because first of all, we're juggling so much in the deck, things don't always align correctly, but also we're going to be feeding single prize Pokemon, evolving Pokemon in the early stages, so a Counts Catcher is always live, so we can take those easier KOs with Burning Darkness. You know, after your opponent's only taken 1 prize, you can start picking off your opponent's benched V Pokemon quite happily. There's a Defiance Band in the list as well, so you can target a number of EXs. The A-Spec of choice is becoming more contentious with Charizard. I'm playing the Unfair Stamp right now just to give me that Arven access to become a Disruption supporter card, but I definitely think that Hero's Cape is worth trying right now if there is still going to be a lot of Raging Bolt, if there's going to be Regidrago archetypes, and if there's going to be Trumpet builds, possibly of Palkia or Terrapagos, that are using Iron Leaves, having that extra buff of hit points does feel pretty helpful right now, so I do think Hero's Cape is definitely worth considering. And at the same time, we're actually quite combo-y, and it's not a meme for me to say that Great Tree is actually worth exploring in this archetype, adding in that Pidgeot, giving yourself a bit more options to spring into these stage 2s. It makes the Dusknoir much more likely to come off during the game. The other sort of tech inclusions in my list right now is going to be the Temple of Sinnoh to help out against the Lugia matchup. Also, that double turbo energy definitely helps in those racing matchups. It allows you to get that Radiant Charizard into the mix much more early. We're playing that Churro scenario as well as Thorton package to give us at least some switching options in the deck, and it can allow you to burst something like a Pidgeot into play or a Dusknoir into play, even against archetypes like Regidrago or Dragapult, which can always sprinkle 6 counters, basically blocking your use of Pidgey or Duskull. Now you can bench some chunkier basics, wait a turn, then Thorton into the Duskull or Pidgey, and suddenly you can start evolving into what you want to and actually re-establish your stage 2s. Also, we can't forget the controlling matchups. These have always been a headache for Charizard, still is the case, even with Curse Blast that can help get around Mimikyu. We still do struggle against the Cornerstone Ogopons. There's been archetypes built entirely around that Cornerstone Ogopon at this point, so having a Gouging Fire in the deck list, having things like Cancer Clone, Silene as a combination in the deck, these are things that I would definitely consider if you're worried about those stalling matchups. But do bear in mind, when you are playing the Charizard archetype, you're naturally pretty unfavored, and there's already so many things we're having to jam-pack into this deck list. It's not the easiest to actually overcome that matchup. It's one of those things that you have to hope to dodge it during the tournament. And I suppose it's also worth mentioning the Rabsca TM Evolution combo. This may have been more important for the World Championships when there was much more emphasis on Regidrago. This is one where we sort of have to wait and see just where Regidrago lands. I don't think it's worth putting into the deck list right now, unless you have a real solid call on the metagame that Drago is going to come back, or that Dragapult with Crystal is going to be really popular going into the first few tournaments. Ultimately, the nature of new Charizard is a real headache, so you do have to get experience with the archetype to see great success with it. But at the core, because we are cherry-picking so many cards from Quick Search, and we have such a great backbone of Charizard's high damage output late game, there is still so much to like about Charizard in the new format. If you're looking for PTCG live codes, make sure you check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using that code OmniPoke. So getting into our first game then, we're going to be going second. And this isn't the best of starts, but we do have the fish at least to maybe get us in. It's actually okay. With a couple Nest Ball, it's Buddy Boffin at home essentially. We see a Raikou V lead, so it could be Miraidon, which is probably the best case scenario for us. That's definitely one of the matchups you want to see as Charizard. Not really that popular right now. Oh, but Mesagoza means it's going to be Lugia. Raikou is not a common inclusion, but it has done well a couple times in some tournaments. We do see a Minccino, a fleet-footed draw as well, into Nest Ball for Lugia. And going to be a gift to the Lugia as well, and just to pass over to us. Let's start with Nest Ball to see if we need to play this heavy ball. Looks like there was a Pidgey in the prizes, was there? Let's flip the Mesagoza now to decide what else we want to do. Yeah, so there is a Pidgey in the prizes, so I can grab that from Hisuian. Second Charmander is reasonable, but also just taking a stage 2 for next turn is also pretty good here. I can go fish for Arven and just like stash a forest in hand. So the Mesagoza is really nice for me, actually. It means I can get the second Charmander developed as well as a Duskull here. I do have a fire to retreat this Fez if I don't want to give up the easy 2 prizes, which definitely makes sense. So we'll go into the 1 prizer and pass things over, knowing that even though Lugia does play Ionos, it's quite rare that they'll be able to hand disrupt us. To be honest with you, they need to get rid of some of their chops. And yeah, we actually do see a research straight away. They actually commit Legacy to the Raikou, which is pretty good for me. It means there's no hands to worry about. But Raikou is actually a decent attacker in the matchup, right? Because it can deal with Pidgeots later down the line if they don't attack with it early on. We do see the Lugia V-Star, but only 1 chop, so they choose not to summon, which is really good for us. We do get heads again on Mesagoza, so that's pretty epic, actually. Man, our hand is so sneaky. That heads flip opens up everything here. I can candy into Pidge via this Arven whilst picking up Defiance Band. And I actually have a floating Ultra Ball for Dusclops, and I'm holding Countercatcher. I can make a disgusting play come together. It did require the double Mesagoza heads flips, but yeah, we can get rid of Nest Ball, Radzard, poke the Lugia for 50, and then we have Defiance Band Countercatcher to KO, which is pretty disgusting, honestly. If you don't use it, you lose it with the Lugia V-Star. So this is a crazy turn too. I mean, they did attach to a Raikou last turn, so they might still have some sort of play next turn, but you can't say no to getting rid of the Lugia, right? That's just so insane. Really, really solid stuff from us. Crazy. Mesagoza doing unholy things for us. At least our opponent does get the head slip as well now. That gets an Archeops to a fleet-footed. They can finally Ultra Ball away more Archeops. Turn 3 now for them. There's 1 Lugia. If they only get 1, they have to boss the Pidgeot, I would guess, because otherwise I can just hunt it down again. Yeah, okay, so it is going to be boss on Pidgeot. They either had to get double Lugia there or KO Pidge and hope to dodge boss. I have played the Lumineon already, so it's quite likely that Lugia is actually going to stick around now. Arven could be Countercatcher for me, though. We get another heads on Mesagoza. This is getting pretty unfair. Yeah, second Countercatch. You can just bring up the Lugia again. Oh my goodness. Gonna just start re-establishing the Pidgey here. I actually don't know how good that choice was, because I probably should have just taken the Pidgeot there, right? Because I already had Buddy in hand. Did I also have the Ultra? I don't know. Either way, we're going to take the Lugia out. Go down to 2. And how does the Lugia keep up here? Well, they can Iono. This is pretty much as good as they can do. Raikou's a 1 prizer right now, don't forget, with the Legacy. They're trying to dodge Boss, and they're trying to dodge... what's it called? Temple of Sinnoh, right? Okay, they're just punching the Zard, trying to set up the Blood Moon, I guess. The Mesagoza stayed in game the entire time, and with the rare candy top deck, Mesagoza was so unfair for me this game. It's like in Candy Pidge, get that boss's orders. The opponent's taken 3 prize cards, so the Burning Darkness is at 270 thanks to the Defiance Band. So yeah, really crazy game against the Lugia there. The turn 2 pop-off thanks to their Mesagoza was unprecedented. That was pretty crazy. The hand lined up perfectly. let's get into another game then. We're staring down a Pidgey again here. Let's see what we're up against. Fan Rotom Duskull. So this is going to be the Terrapagos deck, you would think. Or the Palkia. One of the two. Probably Terrapagos, right? Well, there you go. Really good turn one from them. They got Duskull established as well as the Hoots. And they already have the Terrapagos on board, so they can guarantee the Noctowls. I can't hand disrupt them. So we're just going to Arven for the Hisuian plus Forest. Going to have to spend the Forest first here just to poffin out the chaps, because our hand was pretty weak, and we're just going to have to draw the 3 here. Don't think the collapse is worthwhile though. They just throw away Rotom, right? And we want to save it for when they go wider on their board. We expect them to have Underdepths, right? But this could be a pretty scary turn for us. They have Jewel Seeker, which means they're definitely getting a Pidgeot on board. That gives them a free retreat. And the Pidgeot guarantees they can have DTE. It's just how the rest of their hand lines up, really. Okay, the Featherball got the Pidgeot. I think they also picked up Ultra Ball, which is quite... Oh, you do not want to see Dusknoir double candy. Double turbo active so they can go Charmander here. Well, we get to take a prize, but our board is getting wiped. Pretty ugly, actually. Try and look at the hand to see if I have a way to, like, Thorton into Zard, maybe. Doesn't look like it. They can also Iono my massive hand, which is so sad. Really busted turn from them. I guess that's the beauty of Noctowl. That does make things come together pretty nicely. Actually, we've drawn into Thorton, but again, I'm not looking at Candy, so I don't have much. I can Thorton into a Pidgeot now. Oh, sorry, not Thorton, Arven into a Pidgeot. But Quick Search, I mean, I need to re-establish my basics, really. I could, because I'm holding the Thorton, I want to Fez here just for a basic Pokemon. I'm trying to, like, set up a surprise Charizard, really, here. That's what I'm going for, and I'm just hoping that I can sponge with Pidgeot EX for a turn. That's one of the only good things when they don't have any Duskull in play. I know that their highest damage output is 220, right? So we'll see how things go here. Their start was pretty cracked, though. We see the Underdepths into the Research. There's the Curly Wall starting to get established. Some more Terrapagos. So they're doing 190 right now. They could Pidgeot for Prime and deal with Rotom, maybe. Oh, okay, they have an extra Pokemon, so they can KO the Fez here. Which is pretty scary. They go down to 2. Uh-oh. That's not good. I still don't have a Thorton lined up with a Candy, even with Quick Search available. Like, I'm missing Charizard and Candy, so I can't make a Thorton play happen. Get rid of this Rotom, which would be ideal, really. So I think we're going to go Countercatch Iono, try and reload these Charmanders, and hope for the best, really. This is getting rough. Can't dodge forever. The Collapse Stadium's a nice pickup. We do find Charmanders as well. I can maybe end my turn on Instant Charge. I haven't Quick Searched yet, so I could just get this Rotom off my board. I think that is reasonable. And we force a lot of discards with them. Definitely, yeah, Noctowl went, Terrapagos went, the Fan Rotom, and was it the Boof? Oh no, Boof's trapped, yeah. I'm going to Quick Search for Charizard for next turn, so I can Arven Candy, and I still have the Unfair Stamp, right? So that's the hope. Oh man, they got Research from the Iono and Underdepths, so they can reload their board. This is terrifying. Quick Search still available. They can Quick Search for Noctowl, and then that can get any 2 cards. Well, there's the switch. Pidgeot's a free retreater, so they're not done yet, I don't think. They're starting to put down some bait. Oh no, there's the Jewel Seeker. I owned them to 2. They got to see 7 cards, then pick 3. Oh, that's so gross. The colourless engine can be quite filthy sometimes. They're reloading their basics. 240 is not really... okay, but yeah, Dusknoir plus 220. I guess it's plus 19, 13 plus 19. Yep, that's going to be enough. With the unified beatdown to actually close the game. What a crazy game from the Terapagos side. They just had everything. That was rags and riches right there. Turn 2 Candy Pidge, Candy Clops, KO, double Manda. Ugh. You can do such crazy things with Curse Blast in this game. It's so silly. Let's get into another game then. This time up against Raging Bolt. They're gonna Vessel. Nest Ball out Ogre. Let's see a quick Teal Dance. Oh, okay, they're playing the Noctowl package as well. And gonna attach Pass. Okay. Well, we can Arven. We can get the Forest Rotom, I suppose, if I want to, but my hand is already Ultra Ball and Candy and Arven. And Arven can get me Unfair Stamp. So with this line, I can just go double Charmander and say that my hand is so good that I can chill like this and not give up the 2 prizes. Definitely something when the hand warrants it, you want to avoid putting that 2 prizer down straight away if the opponent's right. They actually just go Stretcher KO, so their hand isn't the best, otherwise they probably would have Sarded, right? So that's good news for us. I still think we Unfair Stamp though, because 2 cards is less than 6, last time I checked. And KOing their only ancient Pokemon basically shuts down the majority of their supporters, right? If they can't Sarda. So here's our plan coming together. We Defiance Band, evolve into Charizard, into the Rod Unfair Stamp, because I just lost my Dusknoir pieces. And Dusknoir can still be influential for us to set up a 4-prize Briar turn. We drew into a couple of basics. Got the Duskull back, got the Charmeleon back. No supporter or anything like that, and still nothing off those 2 prizes. So we're kind of all in. I am a bit terrified of this Ogerpon actually popping off. They have Trekking Shoe into Greninja draw. Under Depths, okay. So they're not playing Pokestop. Into the Iono. Got a dodge here. There's the Teal Dance. Trekking Shoe. They kept a card. There's the Jewel Seeker again. So they can definitely get Vessel at least. And then it's what else they get. Vessel Nest. Yep. Fez can draw them from cards as well, so they've bounced back pretty insanely well from that Unfair Stamp. They're going to throw away an Area 0. Just getting more grass involved. Okay, more Ogerpon, yeah, this is terrifying. There's the manual attachment to the active. So they're going down to 3. Our hand is terrible again. That is one of the issues of so many moving pieces in the list. If you don't establish the early Pidgeots, you can be in a bit of hot water. We're going to go Duskull. Ultra Ball can get me Fish. We're going to throw away Dusknoir and Briar. I think we kind of just need to Fish Iono here, right? You would think. Try and develop the Pidgey at last. Putting a V on this board is reasonable because we still have Forest Hill Stone somewhere. Oh, it's actually there. Okay. Again, we draw into our awkward one-off supporters. No sign of candy pieces for next turn. Can't really commit an energy anywhere. We're going to Forest for Zard. But if they gust the Zard, it's just terrible. Yeah, I'm just going to take more cards. Hope for the best here. Collapse Stadium at least lets me get rid of the fish, I suppose. And stops them benching more stuff, like Mew EX or something would be scary. Stops them getting Raging Bolt for Sarda value as well. Trying to figure out where I want to put this energy, because I do have energy drought issues as well. If they don't take this Duskull, I have a lot of issues about that turbo energy, actually. Especially because I have Thorton in hand, it makes the energy attachment choice even more difficult. In the end, I held off on attachment. I still don't know where the right energy was meant to go there, to be honest with you. Probably Pidgey? I don't know, though. It all felt rough. It's because I have some energy in the bin, which makes this even more difficult now. If I had attached Turbo to Pidgey, I could find a way to Radzard this turn. Oh, okay, and then I'll top decks Radzard. Yeah, so now I need to Candy Pidgeot, and I can do that with Arven, but I can't Hand Disrupt now for a turn, which is terrifying. I could Candy Pidgeot for Countercatch Fez, hope that I can dodge for a turn, I suppose. It's still a bit cobbled together, really. Thorton can't do really great things. Turo's just worse than Arvening for Candy, right? Yeah, I guess that we just have to hope that we can dodge. I mean, they only have Ogerpon to attack with right now, and Myriad Leaf Shower can't KO the Fez, right? So, maybe this Radzard works out. Things definitely haven't come together this game, but we're scrabbling our way to even prizes by the skin of our teeth here. Candy Clops isn't all that helpful either. Let's see then. They do have Ogerpon. Vessel can get some energy for Teal Dancing and for Greninja. Putting one active means they can carry the Radzard. Greninja's going to draw a couple. The thing is, they may not even want to carry the Radzard, right? Because then I have Fez and Pidgeot draw. They might just retreat into a one-prizer if they don't have Prime here. There's the Sada. We have to dodge Prime, right? That's the big issue right now. They haven't spent their A-Spec. They go Raging Bolt with the retreat. Oh, okay, so they wanted to get one more Teal Dance in with the Retreative Grass for the retrieval. Do they have Prime? No, they switch cards. Pass. Okay. Can I win? Can I win? Good question. I can Thorton out of the Rad to retreat. I can't Candy Dusclops. I can't get Zard plus Gust here. So yeah, I can't win this turn, so I have to Iono again. And hope to dodge Prime again. Oh, it's so gross. How has it come to this? We're just lacking so much stuff. Right, Iono and Pray, I suppose, is the best thing we can do here. Even with large hand sizes and quick search, I still felt like I just didn't have what I needed. We'll just pass. 2 players on 2 prizes left with a 1 prize in the active. You know how it is. They just pass. It somehow worked. I can quick search for boss. That was a cope game. But we were able to get there. Good thing we didn't choose the Raging Bolt because of the damage reduction on Double Turbo. I'm a genius. So there we go. Managed to scrape one against Raging Bolt. Because that game was so scuffed, I decided to play again against Raging Bolt. So we'll try and get a less scuffed game. But you know when I said the game was scuffed? Look at our opening hand again, man. What is happening? Charizard is just such a grief of a deck, isn't it? Let's be honest. It can do everything and nothing at the same time. This is actually not the Raging Bolt matchup. This is a different matchup by the looks of the Vessel, because there was Water Energy in there. So this is going to be Palkia. Yeah, there it is. So we'll revisit the Raging Bolt later. That's a treat for later on. This hand is just terrible. I just have to lose a lot of resources here, no matter which way you look at it. I think it's up against Rod and Defiance Band is the question there. I decided to keep the Defiance because these annoying V-Star Pokemon have just too much hit points for me to do anything else. We have the saddest Arven of all time because we have both our tools in our hand, so I just take a Poffin off this. Or do I Iono after Forest Seal Stone? Yeah, because the Arven was so poor, I'm just going to go for the 6 cards instead. Also get rid of those guaranteed owls from their fan call from Rotom. Does seem worthwhile. So we're going to end on 3 cards. We got draw into enough basics I didn't have to pop the Forest Seal Stone, which is nice. Ending on a decent hand, actually. Arven Ultra Ball is pretty solid. But everything could change based on how good their hand is, right? If they can start dual seeking, they can do all sorts of nasty stuff to us. Let's have a look. There's the Terrapagos. Second Ultra Ball can... Yeah, so they have a Terra Pokemon in play now. They can Noctowl one card in hand, so I'm not sure what they can piece together. It would be pretty miraculous for them to still get a Greninja KO. I don't know how many Water Energy are in the discard pile. I think there's definitely a Grass in the discard. There's a Water on the active that they can retreat. I don't know if they have a Greninja play lined up, though. Prime Catcher Irida. So maybe they're just attacking with Palkia. Palkia KO the Lumineon with the Forest Seal Stone would be annoying. Certainly the Palkia coming in. We are going to see the retreats into a Hoot. They just wanted the Water in the discard pile pre-prime. That makes sense. Okay, so there was only 2 Water in the discard, so they can swing those onto Palk. There's 2 Grass Energies that go onto the single prizes. And they just held... Did they hold Nest Ball? Interesting hold. I guess they're holding for, like, Fez for next turn or something like that. If I go around this Palkia, or still find a way through it with Dusclops. That's actually very much on the table for us if we want to. We can take Defiance Candy here. And we can discard Charmander plus Dusknoir. Oh, but this is the game where I prize double Charizard. Which can happen. You only play 2 of them. So, everything is scuffed now. Forget every plan you thought we had. We're gonna need some more time here. We're going to need to build a Radzard. That's definitely something we need to do. That hand was terrible, so we're just going to draw 3. Did I not quick search that turn? Or did I quick search the... Can't remember. But here we are. Yeah, no Charizard. That makes things a lot worse. They're going to take 1. I need to slow attach to a Radzard. That's the priority here. Let's draw with some Fez here. There is Radzard. That's pretty good. I can Thorton away Rotom, possibly. Yeah, we're going to get a second Charmander into play. We'll get Radzard ready to go as much as we can. We already have the Defiance in hand. Not sure what else is too helpful. Maybe Counter Catch. That's an option to hold. I am quite behind. I'm going to be behind for a bit longer as well, to be honest. If I don't get the Zard out of prizes... Yeah, I guess I'm just saying that 4-card hand is low and maybe I squeeze a turn here. Squeeze some resources out them. Like, maybe if they have to use the Noctowl here, that's good for me, so I can get hand disruption later. That is what's happening. They're going to Ultra Ball out Noctowl. They've played Prime. I imagine they still have Switch. Yeah, there's Switch depths. I'm a bit terrified that there's Grass Energy everywhere as well. Oh, they can get a cheeky Assault Landing KO in. It's actually one of my favourite things to do. Fan Rotom is such a crazy card. Right, so we do have Arven for Counter Catcher available. I'm going to quickly get rid of my Fez and limit their bench as much as possible. As soon as they just put another area down, we can collapse that away. We're going to attach again to Radzard. Why did I do that? They're at 2, right? Don't know why I attached the Radzard there. That doesn't even help with the retreating, right? But we're going to bring back up Palk. At least now they have no real attacking threats in play. They have the Fez, but I don't really know what they can burst. They've already spent V-Star power. They only have 1 energy on the board. No Noctowls, 1 card in hand. We're going to see a flip the script. Let's see how that changes things up. They can draw a bit with Radiant Greninja still. Poffin. Okay, there's a Hoot Hoot. That's scary. Grass to Terrapagos and just a pass. Okay. By the way, we didn't hit a Charizard from our prizes, so what are we gonna do, huh? This is so weird now. I'm gonna slow evolve Clops, because maybe that can be part of a Briar combo if they're still gonna keep passing. I'm just gonna pass with Radzard still active. They shouldn't have an easy way to get through Pidgeot at least. Oh man, they have been able to get another Jewel Seeker out though, so it should be a decent turn from them still. What's their best line? Like Terrapagos KO active would be pretty terrifying. Failing that, it's like Fan Rotom KO Charmander would be quite upsetting. Trumpet Thorton. Trumpet Thorton was their pick. They're just running out of attacking threats, maybe? Oh, they're going to Thorton Fan Rotom into something more dangerous. They're just holding the Thorton and not playing it? Okay. It looks like the Trumpet was the most important thing. Is Terrapagos really just going to hit this? They're reloading Palkia V-Star, so they're planning to Thorton into a V-Star, but there's 2 Grass Energy on the Rotom. That doesn't really line up. I'm still going to chase Fez, because there's still a bit to do, and I'm not that scared of the Terrapagos, right? The only thing that could beat me would be Briar, if I take these 2. So I do lose to them having a Briar here, finishing off the Radzard. And there's our 2 EXs. Feels good. Let's see. Okay, Fan Rotom's here. They have that Thorton. I haven't actually scouted the discard pile too much. But what can they actually rebuild here? A lot of their energy must be in the bin as well, right? Well, here's our answer. Thorton into Fez. Okay. Flip the script. So Cruel Arrow is an attack. Maybe they're just going Rotom KO active plus Cruel Arrow on a future turn. They get a Wellspring Mask into play. I haven't played Turo, so I'm not afraid of Sob. They're just going to go down to 1 and hope to dodge Boss or Countercatcher. And we don't have Boss or Countercatcher, so that's worked out. Okay. We can Charizard swing, and we have Manaphy, and I don't have Iono or anything. We just have no resources. I can't stop a Gust on Manaphy or Dusclops either. I mean, getting back Dusknoir is pointless, right? It can't blast. Maybe I just want higher hit points. Don't know what that really plays around. Doesn't play around much, to be honest. That didn't look that good. So we'll take the prizes with the Pidgeots. Getting rid of Stadium, don't know how good that is either, actually. Probably should have kept the Stadium in play there. But this has truly been an ugly game. This has really been ugly. I mean, to be fair, we prize double Charizard EX, what do you expect? But they do have the boss's orders, so they can Cruel Arrow close the game. That was scrappy from both sides, right? Super scrappy game. Really freaking weird against Palkia. Let's get another game in. This time it's against Draga, which is one of the tough matchups. At least we've gone first, though, so I can establish Pidgey in the hope that I can get Quick Search established without having to do weird Thornton gymnastics. The hand's not great for next turn. I can Arven Candizard, but I can't Candy Pidge Candizard, which is a bit scary. Let's see, they've got Dreepy into Rotom into Arven. Poffin Forest seems reasonable, so they can get their Pidgey established. They're going to Forest the Rotom and just Instant Charge. Sat on an 8-card hand, not too shabby. We pick up our own Forest Seal Stone. So it's whether we want to just blind Iono and pray here for candy pieces, or just take the Tempo Zard hit. And I'm kind of inclined to just doing something this turn and trying to pressurize the Pult. I think the scariest thing about Pult is them just tempoing you out with, like, their attack is so much higher value than yours in the early game that we want to really just try and bum rush that late game. Even if it means they start taking prizes like this turn, we want to just speed things along as much as we can, I feel like, in this matchup. They can get a Pidgeot established. They do have Fez draws in here now as well. So they played Forest to get the Pidge. Now they're Pidging, presumably for another candy or for like a Sparkling Crystal or something like that. Okay, Candy Pulse. Counter catch the Pidgey. Oh, that means... Oh, okay. They have no guaranteed energy Sparkling Crystal. That's quite lucky for us. Oh, okay. So they whiffed attachment after all those draws, but they were still able to take out the Pidgey. Weird. But annoying, because we were holding on to candy. So we can Ultra Ball. We're taking that aggressive line to the next level here, because we're just making a second Charizard, we're going to boss Fez, and then we're going to Stamp. And just really say, let's race, buddy. We can get some Fez draw in as well, which is nice. And let's go down to 3 remaining. The opponent still has Quick Search available. They can... Okay, Fez is back, so they can draw 3. We're going to see a Vessel gets rid of a Dragapult EX. They can finally start Phantom Diving. They're going to bring up the Fez and Iono back, so they're trying to trap for a turn. We're then going to see Quick Search. I'm going to get Recon Directive online. Straight into that Phantom Dive. They're putting 1 onto Charizard. I guess they're lining up Devo plays. Oh, the Churro is an insane draw. I mean, we could have fished for Churro, I suppose, but now I get to hold fish and just swing. That seems pretty good. It's something. It's definitely something. Let's see. They have a Recon. They have Quick Search as well. How are they going to line up these 2 Charizards? 250 is not a great number for them because I'm still at 80. But maybe they could do Alakazam plus Gust on a following turn. They're actually going to weave in the Crispin and start readying up their next Dragapult. And that does look like what's happening. 250 to the active, 70 to the bench. We can't pick up Boss. Definitely don't want to play Boss. I'm terrified of a Devo still, because that would be game, so I have to bench something. I'm just going to hold off on playing Lumineon, because I want those outs to win me the game. If I don't get Devo'd, now Ultra Ball's out. Can be an out to win, right? So we're going to go down to 1. We're pretty ahead on prizes, but our board is pretty shoddy. They can't KO both Charizards in the same turn unless it's a Devo. But they can still do some trapping plays with Zam and get a bit cheeky, which I'm a bit worried about. They've Fezzed, they've Reconned, and they're Quick Searching. Okay. see what's up. They're going to Rod. Looks like they need the Drago back. They're going to Painful Spoons to off the active. Okay, so they're not doing the scary play of taking out the Charizard this turn. Okay, looks like they're just removing stuff from hand before an Iono. We draw a Rod, which is terrible. And they do find the Dragapult from the Iono to 5, so they can finish off the active. Put the Charizard down to 130. Okay, so they've set up the Phantom Dive KO on the Zard. And then the floating damage goes onto the Fez. Okay. Let's see our 3 cards. I obviously can't bench anything small because Radzam is stopping any of these basics hitting the board. The only basic I can put down is Radzard. If I just punch and Radzard, I then have Fez into Fire Energy to help me win. So it's project put down the only big stuff that I can into swing and say, if you take out this Zard, which is what was set up with the Phantom Dive, I win with Fire Energy, right? They played Crispin, they played Crystal, there's a fire on the Zam, so they can't just get a new Pult out of nowhere. It would be over a couple of turns. They're healing off Fez, which means they're probably trapping the Fez, which isn't great for me. They put 2 onto the Zard as well. They could win in 2 attacks if they attack the Fez, put 6 on the Zard. But they're retreating. I guess they're just worried about losing to a attached retreat, which I think is reasonable. Just going to instant charge. And we can just instant charge. So they've gone for the slow approach, but it has netted us 3 extra cards. Ultra Ball for Fish next turn could be something. They're still setting up that Radzard for game here. So can they Iono again? Or are they letting me sit with 6? I don't have Win. I don't have Boss plus Energy. So now they're launching their 2 attack strat, right? They can finish off the Zard. Arven and Ultra Ball, is that a way to win? I can grab Fish Thorton, KO the Fez to free it out of the active. They go down to 2, that's only 300 damage. Briar's obviously not... Well, I mean, Briar doesn't matter. Yeah, I can't Gust. I don't have Fire plus Gust. I probably have to play Boss here. Honestly. The timer actually ran out while I was figuring out what I need to do here, to be honest. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4 energy on board. How many in their discard pile? Rod played, Night Stretcher played, and 2 energy in their bin. So maybe a trapping play on my side can work. While I just continue to Rotom up and dig towards win. I need a Fire Energy, right? Let's see, do they have any last switching outs? Yes, they do. They are a genius. They were able to attach the fire to the Zam a few turns back, and it actually opened up that way out. So they are able to take a 3-prize swing back at us. Another weird tactical game. We definitely had our lines to win there. Basically, our last instant charge just didn't cash in. That's a bit unfortunate. Let's get another game in, because I'm playing a lot of Zard. Obviously, it's a deck you want to get a grips with, because even when you're not playing it yourself, you want to know exactly what's in its range most turns. So when you play against it, you know what they're capable of. And is this going to be... Yeah, this is the run back of the Raging Bolt matchup. They have a pretty good start. A couple Bolts, couple Ogres. They end on a Fan Call. Anecdotally, I definitely prize Squawk in this matchup. Just saying. The Trekking Shoe, get rid of a Nest and pass to us. Makes sense because they have a 5 Pokemon bench. Our hand's terrible again. How does Zard manage to have such abysmal hands so frequently? It's incredible to me. Let's pass things over. Makes me think we probably need Cleffa back in the deck just because Poffin, Cleffa can sometimes get you rolling. We're going to see Greninja draws from them. Vessel away a Glass Trumpet, which is one of the neat things that a colourless build can have. Teal Dancing coming in. There's an Area 0 for some space. They can finally put those hoots down. And looks like they're coming in with Bolt. At least it's only a 1 prize KO. That's the good news. Gives us plenty of time. We really could do with some good draws, though. Boss is not a good draw, last time I checked. We'll pass. Could have Blazing Disruption. Don't think it changes much, right? 3, 5, 7. They get rid of, what, Fan Rotom and maybe a Hoot there. Don't think it changes a whole lot. They're going to bundle Force Charmeleon up. That's a shame. Going to see Jewel Seeker. They're going to Sada and then put some Sadas back into the deck by the looks of things. Yeah, they're preparing for some hand disruption. Little do they know just how bad our hand is. Actually, they do know. Was that a manual attached to the Ogerpon? Okay, I guess they're just taking 1 off each bolt. Yeah. Keeping the grass energy on the Ogres makes sense. Well, Radzar's a crumb of hope. I can Turo Manaphy active, get an attachment in on the Zard. So now Fire Energy top decks are good. They're just going to Sada, so no Gust. Okay, they go down to 3. They're back on odd prizes. That's something. We can go Radzard. We have counter. Ooh, Stamp is something. I think I need to countercatch Ogerpon here, because if I ever want to win this game, it's probably because Zard is going to stick at some point. And if I get rid of both the Ogerpon, I can stop them dual seeking as well. So I think it is a worthwhile countercatch there. We're going to get a Nest Ball for Rotom because we still have Forest Seal Stone in the deck, so we want those additional outs to draw 3 because we had to hit a fire there, which we do. So I can Combustion Blast. I have an Arven as well. I already have Ultra Ball Candy in hand, but it means I can get that Forest Seal Stone. And then do I want... Well, I already have Ultra Ball. Maybe it's just a fodder card for my hand. I already have Defiance, which is basically fodder. Countercatch for next turn seems reasonable as well. So I can just keep on top of things. Okay. We'll take out Ogerpon number 1. Our Ogerpon quest has started. The comeback is on. It's only taken 6 turns to get somewhere. Let's see how the Stamps treated them. Stamp seems to have done its job. They can take the prizes, obviously, but they really didn't do much else. They are getting to 2 prize cards remaining, though, which is quite scary. What are my options? I have V-Star Power. I already have Candy. I have Countercatch. Oh, top deck Pidgeot. That's pretty cool. So I'm definitely countercatching Ogerpon this turn, and I'm definitely making a Charizard, right? Oh, only 1 fire in the deck. I have to take Rod, and then I have to Ultra Ball Charizard. Yeah, so that's why I went Charizard rather than Pidgey lead there, because I know that I can't Candy to Pidgeot here. I just have to Candy Zard first, then Fez, and hope that I draw into the other Candy for the Pidge. It's a bit scuffed, but it means that I can't... So what I want to do is I want to hit Iono here. So rather than committing my Pidgeot to... rather than committing my Pidgeot to Candy Fezard, I kept it open so I could Hand Disrupt. Does that make sense? I suppose it does, because we do hit the Iono. And now I can replace the Area 0 to get rid of Rotom. And we've effectively got rid of both Teal Mask Ogerpon, gone down to 2 prize cards, and they don't have a Terra for their Noctowl now. Ogerpon into the night stretch has done us in! No! Can they beat us with this? Sada is 7-14-21. 28, yeah. Sada plus Energy Retrieval does it because they can Teal Dance plus Turn Attach now. We were so close to clawing it back, but the Raging Bolt did get there in the end. The Noctowl is pretty sneaky in Raging Bolt. If you haven't tried out Noctowl in Bolt, obviously that was quite a high roll to get it all in one turn because the Ogres were gone, but it can happen, and it can be a game winner, no doubt. It turns those Ultra Balls into just absolute gold dust in Raging Bolt, which is pretty cheeky. Well, that's lots of Zard gameplay. Things didn't always align. I think we only had 1 or 2 crazy turns, and most of the time we were just scrabbling for stuff to do, which don't know if that's always been your experience with Charizard, but it's certainly been my experience with the deck. So let me know your thoughts on the archetype down below. Is it as good as they say, or is it just kind of chaotic and things sometimes come together, sometimes don't? You decide. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.